Tubers, two bats, various crazy people. It's me and Daisy Duke over here.
Hello everyone, good morning. I'm back.
Did you ever go anywhere?
I'm back with the Default channel.
So we just did a video for her channel. And then we got to talking afterwards. And we were kind of reviewing in our mind the day we had the other day. And I think I'll call this video When Things Go Wrong, because they do. So I'm going to talk about checkpoints.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about medical. I'm going to talk about immigration. And I'm going to talk about motorcycle accidents. And I'm going to try to do that real quick. It's going to be real anecdotal. It won't be a long video. But we thought we'd review our day that kind of went wrong and things that could have really gone wrong and didn't. So to begin with, I'm leaving the country and I need to go home and see my family. And I'm only going to be gone for like 17 or 18 days, 19 days, something like that. And I have to have what's called an exit clearance before I can bug out. And an exit clearance is simply if you've been in the country for more than 6 months consecutively, they run a background check on you. And before they let you bug out of the country, they make sure you've been a good boy or a good girl and that you're okay to go. So I use JRC Visa Consultancy to do that for me because traveling to Cebu and back and forth is a hassle, number one, especially with the COVID thing. Even though things have lightened up, it's still a hassle. On a good day, it's a hassle. And they'll do it for you for a fee. And they do all the background checks in Cebu on you, and you get the paperwork back. So we did that 2 weeks prior to me leaving, which is why I haven't left sooner, because I had to I had to book a ticket 2 weeks in advance for the whole thing to work. So they said, okay, come back on Friday and pick up your passport. Today is Sunday.
Yeah.
And then also, I figured we'll kill two birds with one stone. I sent a text off to my doctor and May's doctor and said, hey, I'm taking an airline flight and I'd like to get some sleeping pills, if you don't mind. And she said, sure, no problem. I'll have a script ready for you. And that's one of the cool things about having a relationship like with a doctor or a dentist. You can send them a message instead of driving all the way down there and going through all this hoopla and waiting in line. And now if we need to get an antibiotic for her or me, or in this case, I'm going to get some sleeping pills for the trip on the airline, I'll just walk into the office. It only costs 200 pesos. The script will be ready. I'll wave to the doctor. She'll be busy probably with somebody, and out we go and we move on with our day. Same thing with JRC. We just got to pop in. They know me. They say hi. I say hi. We have a little chit chat, and that's that. So on Friday, May and I went down to JRC first, and lo and behold, they were closed.
Yeah.
They were at a seminar in Cebu, Friday and Saturday. And so I'll go down, no biggie, I'll go down on Monday and pick up my passport because I don't leave for another week or so, or 5 or 6 days, something like that. And, but it crossed my mind, what if I was leaving Saturday? Because there was no warning, there was no text, there was no blanket message from JRC, to me at least. And that's how they kind of operate. They will send you a text and say, hello, you can come pick up your whatever you're doing, and it's ready. They did not, I thought that they should have sent out a text on Wednesday and said, hey, by the way, everybody, we're going to be closed Friday and Saturday. And I just said, man, I'm great. I'm gravy. It's cool. We can go down Monday, Tuesday, pick this thing up, no problem. But just what if my flight had been leaving on Saturday and I went down there Friday with no forewarning and couldn't get my passport back? So just food for thought. I won't belabor that. Then we went into the doctor's office and she was closed too.
Yeah.
We said, there's just a note on her door. Said, sorry, doctor's gone today. No explanation, no reason. Maybe she just felt like fading. I don't know. God bless her. She's self-employed. What the hell? But Again, it would have been kind of nice to have received a text because we do text back and forth. And so that was a wasted trip. And I said, no big deal, the flight. Again, I don't need them until I get on the airplane. And I'd like to sleep 5 or 6 hours of the 15 or 20 hours I got to be in the air, whatever it is. So May and I, after those two disappointments, I said, well, let's just go to a coffee shop and I'll get a coffee and you can get a brownie or nothing, whatever you want to do. And on our way up the street, May has now been riding on the back of the gay-looking little scooter for 3 years. And we've never had an accident. We've
Yeah.
never, praise God, we've never had any problems. But on that day we did. There was a guy, we were just driving, we weren't going but 10 or 15 miles an hour, I don't think. And there's a street that just juts to the left. And a guy was to the right of me, and out of nowhere, he just
Yeah.
cut in front of me. Now, normally, what do? They do their hand signal, right?
Yeah.
How do they go? Maybe they go like this, right? Mm-mm means
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. That is Filipino.
Or they'll beep their horn and let you know they're there. 'Cause I didn't even see the guy. He was just that kind of like, and he just sped up and went in front of me.
Yeah.
And I hit both brakes, both front and back, and I was leaning forward, and May was leaning into me.
Yeah.
And boom, I hit his. I don't even know where I hit him. I think it was on the back tire. It happened so fast. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's very fast.
And so there are people called LTO agents out here, I guess is the word. Officers, maybe is better. They wear yellow shirts.
Yeah, yellow
And they're
t-shirt.
generally in congested areas like that, on the corners. And they witness this stuff.
Yeah.
And this is what I find interesting. This is a parallel that I draw between, like, what if that happened in America. So, boom, I hit this guy, and I can look you in the blues and tell you it wasn't my fault. If it was, I'd own it. I'd say, hey, I screwed up. I didn't look. But in this case, you were mad at the guy because of the expression on his face.
Yeah.
What was he doing?
He not sorry. She smile.
He smiled.
Yeah.
Pissed her off.
Yeah.
She was more mad about him,
Yeah.
not saying my bad or I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't own
He
it.
not doing that.
Yeah. And an LTO officer was right there in the yellow shirt.
Yeah.
And he saw the whole thing. And he asked me, he goes, are you okay? And we almost put the bike down,
Yeah.
but didn't. And it went to the left. I put my foot down. May
Yeah.
put her foot down. She got a little scratch on her leg
Yeah, my
from
legs.
the dealio that she rested her feet on. And, but we didn't. And that's the main thing. If you can keep the bike up, it took every ounce of power, little power I have in my body to keep that thing up. And the same thing with the guy that I tagged. He was going like this, but
Yeah.
he managed to stay up. And that's where there was no damage, because it's when you drop that you get the road rash or break a leg or whatever, hurt your face. And the LTO guy, who's the officer, if you will, just asked me, he goes, are you okay?
Yeah.
And we said, yeah, we're okay. And I said, is he okay? And the guy says, yeah, he's okay. And the guy goes, all right then.
Yeah.
It's like, just move on with your day. And we were cool with that. And May was like, hey, we should have a report on this. And there was no damage to my bike. There was no damage to his bike. There was no damage to me except the next day where I was really sore on the left-hand side because I jolted.
Yeah.
When my leg hit the ground, it really racked my body. I guess it always takes 24 hours for that to set in. And so we stayed home yesterday just because
Yeah.
I didn't feel like driving the bike. It was just sore, man. And so we had our little motorcycle accident. But I was thinking, in America, we'd be exchanging insurance cards. We'd be handing over driver's licenses. God forbid you get a guy that's, what's the word? They just love to sue everybody. And it would have been a big back and forth that would have dragged on for how long, even though there was nothing damaged or anybody hurt. I can't think of the word. Anyway, so that was our day. And then on the way home, they had a full-on military checkpoint.
Yeah, in
set
Valencia.
up in Valencia. And this is where things could have gone wrong, but didn't. And so I was wearing my helmet, and May was wearing hers, and we drive up to the checkpoint, and they wave us over. And the purpose of the checkpoint is to check for helmet, is to check for shoes. You're not allowed to wear technically, you're not allowed to wear flip-flops or sandals while
Yeah.
driving a bike. You're supposed to have shoes on, a helmet, I guess a mask. I didn't have
Yeah,
a mask
face
on when I
mask.
drive. She does. She takes a shower with a mask on. I don't know. She loves that thing. But went to the checkpoint, and so they wanted to see my driver's license. Showed them my driver's license. They wanted to see my registration.
Yeah.
Showed them the registration. And they double checked everything. And I actually have my registration encased in plastic, so it's easy for them to read. And you just renew it every year. And insurance. And they just kind of begrudgingly said, okay, you're set.
Yeah.
Because they want to write a ticket. You know, that's the thing. Or worse, if you do not have a valid driver's license, or if you do not have a valid registration, they can impound your bike,
Yeah.
and they will. We have seen, and it's mostly, you know what's unfair? I don't know if it's unfair or if it's just circumstantial. Mostly it's poor Filipinos
Yeah.
that lose their little bikes.
Yeah,
And I
more
always feel so
Filipino.
bad, you know, because here's this guy, he doesn't have a driver's license. He never went down
Yeah.
and took the test. That's hard. He's been buzzing around since he was 3 years old with his parents on this thing. Doesn't have the registration because that costs money. And unfortunately, a lot of guys, they just are
Yeah.
living day to day. And we have a lot of empathy and sympathy for that. But now this guy's getting his bike taken from him, you know, and that's a big deal. Think about in your home country, if you just had your car taken away from you and you had to go through an impound process and pay a fine and a fee and miss your work and this and that and the other. So that was one bullet that we dodged. One quick story is I did hear of a foreigner that got his bike taken away where he could have escaped it. Because I have been stopped, especially when I first got here. I didn't even know what a checkpoint was. They used to wave at me to pull over, and I used to wave back at them and keep going. I thought they were just waving at me. I had no idea I was supposed to pull over. I thought they were just being friendly. It's the truth. And so, anyway, I was told, no, Paul, you got to go over and let them see you. And they don't have any chase bikes or anything there, so if you just keep going, I guess that's just the end of the story. But, so you want to comply. But I heard, and this is nothing I saw with my own two eyes, but I'll back up a little bit. I have gone through the checkpoints when I was new, and I had a rental bike, and I had I didn't have a driver's license yet. I'd only been here 2 or 3 months. And so they were totally cool. They took my Nevada driver's license and accepted it. I think that's good for 90 days anyway. Don't quote me on that, because I always get those things mixed up. And I just had paperwork from the rental company. And they go, how long have you been here? And I go, well, I just got here, man. I just rented the bike. And they're like, all right, well, have a nice day. See you later. Thank you very much. Very polite, very cool, very easygoing. I have heard, I didn't see it with my own two eyes, but from a number of guys that I talked to, so-and-so with an attitude, a foreigner, went through a checkpoint and didn't have something with him. I don't know if it was the paperwork or the driver's license or what. And if he had just been cool and said, yeah, you know what, I'm new or whatever, 99% of the time these guys will just cut you a break because they know you're a foreigner and
Yeah.
you may not be familiar with the laws and whatnot. And usually, if you get a guy there, those guys speak great English, and they will tell you, hey, you know, this is what you need, sir. And so we're going to let you go this time, but please make sure you have the correct documentation or a driver's license or whatever is missing. He used to say, thank you, sir, and away you go. Well, one guy gave him some lip about how important he was, and they know who he is. And the answer was, yeah, we know who you are, and you're going to really know who we are because we're taking your bike. Park it over there, pal. And they impounded a foreigner's bike. And I had to go pay a ticket one time down
Yeah.
at the LTO because of the parking ticket is what
Yeah.
I had to go pay. I had to go down to, and I went to the wrong place. I went to the LTO instead of going to the treasurer. That's how goofed up I was. But I saw a bunch of bikes in the impound lot. Right? And 'cause I was all goofed up. I went to the LTO. I thought that's where you paid the ticket. But it was actually, you go to the city treasurer department. It's the Philippines.
Yeah.
But I saw bikes upon bikes, and as you would suspect, the majority of them were local bikes. They were just Filipino bikes that, like I said before, they impounded. But I saw some nice ass bikes in there that my feeling is a few foreigners got a little lippy with these guys. So anyway, that's just our story. We're sticking to it. If anything changes tomorrow and we're unsuccessful in any of our endeavors, we'll keep you up to date on that. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for always staying tuned. Paul and Baby May, I want to thank you for all the subscribers
Yeah,
that we've
thank
had
you so
lately
much, yeah.
and all the views that we've had recently. And I'm going to be vlogging from America while I'm there, hopefully. And we will see you in our next video, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.